A man paid a huge sum of money to buy a completely lifeless corpse and pretended it was his father. He took it to a private hospital for emergency treatment, pleading desperately with the doctors to save his father, saying he was willing to spend any amount. The doctors didn't even ask about the patient's condition. Without taking a proper look, they immediately wheeled the body into the operating room. Only after touching it did they realize the person was already dead. But instead of stopping, they insisted on performing surgery on a corpse because they knew exactly how to manipulate desperate family members. That young man clearly seemed like a devoted son. In a life-or-death situation, he would do anything to save his father. And this was the perfect opportunity for unethical doctors to squeeze every last penny out of him. So, a group of doctors began pretending to be busy, acting as if they were racing against time to save a life. They rushed in and out of the emergency room, putting on a convincing show. The lead doctor then approached the man and handed him a prescription. He told him, "Your father's condition is critical. You must buy these medicines immediately, and only from the pharmacy next to the hospital, because certain life-saving drugs are only available there." The man looked at the prescription. It listed dozens of medicines, but he had no idea what any of them were for. Still, he followed the doctor's orders and bought 2 large bags full of medicine, spending 6 months' worth of wages in one go. He handed the bags to the nurse and kept asking what the medicines were for. But the nurse, with a cold and indifferent attitude, simply replied, "Your father's condition is complicated. Even if I explain, you wouldn't understand." Then, as soon as the man turned away, the nurse returned the medicine to the pharmacy, completely untouched. She even scolded the pharmacist for not being flexible enough, saying, "That man was so easy to fool. Next time, you should give him the most expensive, highest commission drugs." Just as the man finished paying a fortune for the medicine, the doctor came out again, demanding another 500,000 yuan for surgery. The man was shocked. "Didn't I already pay for the surgery when I first arrived?" he asked. The doctor replied, "Your father's condition is extremely critical. We need to bring in a top medical expert, and expert fees are charged separately." After the man made another massive payment, a so-called expert entered the operating room with a solemn and serious expression. The family anxiously waited outside, while inside the operating room, the atmosphere was anything but tense. The doctors and nurses were chatting and laughing as if nothing was happening. Every 30 minutes, one of them would walk out, seamlessly switching from a cheerful to a grave expression. Like a well-practiced actor, one after another, they tricked the man into paying additional fees. By the time he had spent all his savings, the doctor finally came out with a heavy expression and told him, "We did everything we could, but your father didn't make it."